Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
And servlet name and servlet class. That is what is a class which is responsible for the servlet. So that we have to give it here. That is a servlet which we configure. Then we'll configure here servlet mapping. So servlet mapping, and here we go with what is the servlet name, and we'll go with what is the URL pattern. That is URL pattern is what is the request which you are sending. That request should be configured here. This is the basic way of configuring the servlet, either in the web.xml way or in the annotation way we are going. So we have only one servlet called dispatcher servlet that you can configure in the XML way if you go with XML configuration. If you go with Java configuration. So what is the Java application containers we have used? What is the Spring containers we have used? What's the Spring containers we have used? We used application context, right? In that
Yeah,
application context, if you're working with Java based way, what is the class? Annotation config application context, correct? So this is the class which is responsible to work with the Java based configuration. If you are going with Java based, annotation config application context is required. This is a Spring container which we want to use it. Now tell me what are all the two things we required for our Spring Web MVC application. One is we require a annotation config application context. And what is one more? That is to load your application with the Spring MVC, we require a front controller, which is dispatcher servlet, which is making your application initialization. It will make your application as a initialization. For that, we have a class called abstract annotation config application context dispatcher servlet initializer. So that is, we want to do the initialization, either go with the XML way or either you go with the Java way. This is the way XML configuration. If you go with Java way, so that is, we have a class called abstract annotation config application context dispatcher servlet initializer. So this is a very big class name. Okay, so it will do the jobs of two. One is it will initialize your application with the dispatcher servlet, and it will taken care of your application context, that is, which is your Spring container. Are you clear with this point?
this web servlet, uh, we don't need to use it in all our applications. Only if it is interacting, it's like only if we need this front part.
If you're going with Spring MVC, not with the Spring Boot, this is not required in the Spring Boot. All this will be taken care automatically in the Spring Boot.
So in the previous application, how many containers were there? Is it one is application container and and were the repositories also started in different containers
Sorry.
or the same? In the previous
Only one
example,
container. Only one container. Instead of this way, we done with the XML way. So it's only web.xml. It initialized your application.
so one Spring Boot project will run in a single container.
Yes, one Spring Boot project will run in one container.
Okay.
If you
We
are
can
doing the, yeah, tell me.
we can configure only one application context, is it? For a Spring Boot application.
Yes, only one application context.
Okay.
If you want to configure multiple, you go with the multi-module projects. Why it's taking this much time? So
In a
that is
Spring
what here,
Boot, in a
yeah.
Spring Boot application, you will not have that view resolver and all, right?
View resolver we will be having, but we don't need to create it because it's everything mapping. We'll do it in application.properties, right? We don't write all the classes. We'll do it in application.properties or in the application YAML file. Here we do it. Here we have to make, we have a property called spring web.suffix, spring web.prefix. That properties you will be configuring.
Okay, if you don't want to redirect your response to a JSP, or how do you set the weave in that case? Like you're just returning a, when you are developing a REST API, you will just
In the
return a
REST
JSON,
API,
right?
you don't have, yeah, in the REST API, you don't have any view at all, right? In the REST API, data will be given only in the format of JSON or XML.
In that case, the dispatcher servlet will not be doing that view resolving and all.
Yes, whenever you have a, like when you write your code with the annotation called controller, okay, it will look
Okay.
for a view.
Okay.
If you don't want to look for the view, you want to give only data, you go with response body. So in
Okay.
this case, controller will look for the response body, not a view.
Okay.
Instead of writing these two, we can write it with only one annotation, which is called REST controller.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
when the controller file is being auto-generated from YAML, how
Mhm.
do we specify that the controller will be of a particular kind? Like it is a REST controller. Is there any property even for that?
From the YAML file, you want to generate the controller, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
How
we
do
can
we specify?
configure.
Mhm. Yeah.
We can configure it as a REST itself.
So is it defined in YAML or application properties or builder product?
Either you can go with anyway. Either you go with the application.properties, or you can go with the YAML file.
And what is the property for this? If you're going following the property,
Mm. The name is for controller we use. Maybe we'll use it controller or mm, I'm not getting what is the tag name which we will be using. Mm,
Okay, okay. No issues. I will check
I'll
my
just,
projects include with
yeah,
them.
I'll update. Uh, I'm not recalling. Let me just recall and tell you. Yeah, yeah, it's loaded.
Okay.
What was the error here? Okay. Yeah. So that is here. Like it's a simple normal Java web application. Okay. So where I'm creating here one controller. Example controller. Okay, it's a normal Java class. So where I want to work with the Spring, so I will annotate it with here controller. And with this, whatever the request mapping which I'm sending, so I have here one method, which is public return type is string and get message is my method. I will return here called hello.jsp. Okay, I'm just writing only this. When this method should be called. So that is whenever you send any request mapping, which is a type of hello or great. So this is my a simple request mapping. So I hope you are clear with this.
Yes.
So now whenever you send a greet request, so this hello.jsp should be returning here. It should return. But now when we run our application, so we don't have any hello.jsp page. Let me create inside a web app one hello.jsp. Okay, so when we run here, index.jsp is a landing page which is running here. And now I want to get the output which is for hello. So that is when I send here hello request, it is saying there is no mapping found, that is HTTP status of 400, which is hello not found. But if I send a request hello.jsp, then it is printing only hello.jsp, but it is not going to the controller and given. So let me just write it here, controller called. It is in restart mode. I'll just do restart. So when I send hello.jsp, it will give output. But when I send hello, it will see it is not giving, it is not went to the controller and given the output for us. So because if I send any hello request here, it's not working. So it's not going to that because we have not mapped any dispatcher servlet, or we have not mapped any of the configurations which is required for the Spring application. It's working like normal JSP pages. It's only executing this JSP pages. So how to make it as a Spring MVC? So that is the first step is we have to go with the dispatcher servlet. Either you can go and do the configuration in the web.xml here, or you go with the Java way. So if I want to go with the Java way, so that is we know how the Java way will be written. So we will create here one class called app-config, and it should be enabled with @configuration, and we can mention the component scan, and the component scan base packages is com.example.demo. So this is my component scan. This is my configuration class which I have written. So when this class will be loaded, if you remember the day one session, so that is when this one will be loaded. So whenever you run your application context, the annotation config application context, and you have to load this app config. From there it will be loaded. But now we don't have any main method because it's a web application. We don't have any main method. So we require a web initializer. We require a web initializer, plus we require a dispatcher servlet with the application config to load your web container. So that is, for that we are creating another class. I'm making this class as app initializer. It's our own wish, whatever the class name you want to give it. And then I will just give a finish. And this class should, I have to make this class as a type of initializer with the application context. So for this, we'll use extends abstract annotation config application context. Abstract annotation config dispatcher servlet initializer. So this is the class which is doing the, it is doing the annotation configuration, which is Java based configuration, plus it's do the dispatcher servlet initializer. Okay, so this is my class name which is initializing your web application, and it's have three methods. Whenever you extends any class, mandatory all the abstract methods should be reload, so that all the abstract methods should be overridden. So we have overridden all these three methods. So what is this three methods are? This root config classes means where your configuration is written. That is the class called app config, and it is expecting a class array. So that is new class array. We have to load the app config dot class. So this way we are loading here the configuration class. Why configuration class? Because it says this method is expecting the root configuration classes should be loaded. So that class we have loaded. Are you clear with this part?
Can you open the app config class once? If
Yeah.
okay, this is just configuration.
Yeah, it's only a just simple configuration.
For the dispatcher servlet implementation, you have not added anything there, right? In the app initializer.
No. We no need to write anything because this class will be responsible. It's take a dispatcher servlet.
Okay.
Okay. So we are loading an app configuration class for this. Then for each servlet, you have to write the URL mapping, which is a get servlet mapping, which is expecting the return type of string array. So we have to accept all the request. I'll put only slash. If you put slash, it accepts all type of request. So that is what which we are sending here. It
In
accepts
Spring
all
Boot,
type
no?
of requests.
In
Sorry,
Spring Boot, what is the default servlet mapping for dispatcher servlet?
it will take slash only. Will not configure anything of this in the Spring Boot.
Okay, Spring Boot, we cannot configure the dispatcher servlet mappings, is it?
Yes, we
Can
don't
we?
need to because everything will be auto configuration by default. That is the advantage of a Spring Boot. We don't write this much configurations for that.
By default, it will be taking slash. After that,
Yes,
whatever comes is the request, right? By
yes,
default, it
yes,
will allow anything, no? Like because whatever request we get, everything is allowed by the dispatcher servlet. That means
yes, yes.
it will accept anything.
Yeah, but if you want to mention only the request which is starting with API you want to allow, you write slash
Okay,
API, then it will be allow only that.
that you can configure in Spring Boot as well.
Yes, yes. That is how you are writing your controller mapping, there you can mention it.
Okay, in the REST controller itself.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So is this much is clear?
Yeah.
This is a get servlet config classes. That is, if you are writing any other servlets to do your job, like maybe any servlet filters, all these things should be loaded here. But as of now, we are not using any servlets or filters, so we have not loaded anything. So after adding this much stuff, okay, so I'm just running my application again. Still loading. Yeah. Now let us just send a request, which is hello. So it is saying still no mapping found for HTTP hello and dispatcher servlet with dispatcher. Okay, what happened? Um, we have to mention don't look for a web.xml. Yeah, property fail on missing web XML. Okay. Yeah. So whenever we are running our application, so still it is saying you have not enabled or you're not, it is given the error which is no mapping found. No mapping found for the dispatcher servlet. Why is it so? Because whenever you go with the Spring MVC, we have to inform to the configuration class, which is we want to enable the web MVC. So at the rate of enable web MVC, mapping should be written. So enable web MVC. So then this will understood, okay, you are working with respect to the web MVC, so that it will then look for the component scan of your com.example demo, and then it will be look for the controller annotation. Let it run. So you can see it has registered annotated classes. Now you can see in your let me just read a console for you. You can see it is saying mapped greet onto public of get message method and registered annotated classes, which is called app config, and annotation config application context is loaded. So it is given all the information and all your Spring application got started. And now you just sent a request which is called hello. So still it is giving no mapping for hello because we don't have any mapping for hello. The mapping is greet. You can see for the greet now it is giving the message which is called hello. So the greet is sending a request to the hello.jsp. So that is you can see controller called as given, and the request, the first application will be app initializer will be loaded. From this, it will load into app config. In the app config, it will say, okay, you are enabled the MVC and you mention the component scan, it will look for what is the request you sent. We sent a request called greet, and before reaching the request mapping, it will look is the request mapping have a controller or not. So when the controller is present, then it will give here the view which is request mapping of greet, and this it will return to hello.jsp. But I don't want to hard code .jsp or something like this, because it will always uh, if you want to do the changes, we have to do changes in our complete controller, but we don't want to hard code it, but we want to send it the request. So for that, we have a bean which is called internal resource view resolver. So we will create here one bean, public internal resource view resolver. And we know how to create the bean, because if setter methods are there, we have to configure the setter methods. So that is view resolver. Set prefix, and what is the prefix you wanted. So that is all, like you want to secure your application, so all the JSPs you can keep it inside of a WebINF and inside of a views folder. So after that, what is the suffix you want to give it? So that is suffixes view resolver dot set suffix, and it will be .jsps. So that is the view which we have taken. So according to this, inside a WebINF, so we can create a folder which is called views, and I'm keeping hello.jsp inside the views. Okay, so that's what we have written. Let me just reload my application. Yeah. So that is whenever you send a request to this, so it will only return a string called hello. Then it will come back to your app config and it will see, okay, you have configured the internal resource view resolver, but still it does not work because you have not annotated with the bean, because every bean should be annotated. So else it will not create the object inside of a Spring container. If you write this code, yes, object will be created, but we want object should be created inside the Spring container. To make the object inside a Spring container, we have to write the @ of bean annotation. Okay, so let it just preload. So now still the greet, we will be get the same output. You can see the greet is giving you. Okay. So that is whatever you are giving the data, so that other than this, if you send anything, it will give not found. The mapping is not available. So it will give no mapping found for this Spring MVC tree. So this is what the Spring MVC application. You should create a server and you should configure your app initializer. You should configure your application config. All the three things will be removed whenever you go with the Spring. So in the Spring Boot, we don't require a server because it is embedded with a Tomcat server. It is internally contains the Tomcat server. So are you clear now with the Spring Web MVC? Still any doubts are there?
It's clear.
Okay. What about
The
Tangama
set
and
the set prefix path that you have given here,
mm,
that path will be usually there in the Tomcat, is it? That WebINF folder you will be putting in
no,
Tomcat.
no, no. It is inside of your project only. In your project, you will have a WebINF. When you generate as a WAR file, you will get only this one, no, web app. inside a web app, you will have a web init. In that only you will have a dot classes and views also.
Okay.
This is inside of your project only, not in the Tomcat.
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan, and grow your skills immensely.
Chandra, are you clear?
Yes, some parts I'm clear, and I will just have to reverse the video.
Okay, okay. If you want me to explain it one more, I can. No problem.
No, I will reverse it again, and if I have
Yeah,
some problems, then I will ask.
sure. Okay. So that's what here you are doing with respect to your application config. Okay. So if you want to do the same project with respect to your Spring Web MVC, so that is with a boot. Like let us just go to Spring Starter project. And we require here only Spring Web. Like I just want to work with the Spring Web. I just created a Spring Web dependency. I've selected, nothing else is required. And I just created here now. So we no need to take in care of any other parts because we don't need to configure the dispatcher servlet. We don't need to configure this application config because it's all auto configured. Because if you just go to any of your other project where the web dependencies are there, you can see there is a Spring Boot starter Tomcat. So it internally have the Spring Boot starter Tomcat. So it will be taken care of your Tomcat, which is a server which is already present. And as I already told you, Spring Boot Auto Configure is there. So if you go to Spring Boot Auto Configure, where you can just look for the Spring Framework Boot Auto Configure dot web package. Yeah. So Spring Boot Auto Configure web package. So all this, the resource properties, server properties, all these are already configured, and there is a Tomcat which is embedded. So it is embedded with the Jetty web server and Tomcat Netty web server and Tomcat web server. This three embedded web server factory. So this three servers are configured internally for the Spring Boot. All the auto configuration is already done here. Okay, this is what the dependencies which is available. So whenever you just add the Spring Boot starter web, rest of the things will be taken care by your Spring Boot. You no need to do anything except writing of your controller. So let me write my controller here. I'll just copy this controller. This project is creating. I guess still the project is not yet built. That's why it's taking some time to build it. Let it. So I'll just take a project which we already created. So that is, we will create here one, we already have an employee controller. So what we will do it, we will make it here. We'll make it here at the rate of controller annotation. It's not allowing me to do it. Yeah. At the rate of controller. And I will just write this. Great. Okay. So this is what we have written in our code. And now let us just run our application. And what is the port number? I've already configured in the application.properties, because for me 8080 is occupied with some other thing. So that is in the application.properties 8090 I've written. And in the employee controller, I have written the greet. So then I have not configured any resource view resolver and all. Okay, because I have to show how the resource view resolver property should be configured here. Okay, yeah, it's my application got started and it is at the port number of 8090. And let me just go to 8090 with the greet. So when we send the greet here, it says no explicit mapping for error, but the unexpected error, which is called 404. So when you just see it in the console, so that is here, it is giving controller called, so that your controller got called here. This is working, but it is giving 404 because there is no hello as present in your application. So where our hello should be available here. So by default, all your mapping will be available. So that is here we have to map where our code should be present. So that is inside our SRC. It's a Gradle project. Okay, main. I will mention here the folder, which is web app. Inside that, I will create here web island. So, and here I'll create my JSP. Hello, Spring Boot. Okay, so that is now here where we will be mapping. So in the application.properties, we can mention here the properties, which is spring.mvc.view prefix. So what is a prefix? So prefix is only under WebINF. I'm not made it anything extra here. Spring.mvc.view suffix, which is .jsp. This is what how your application properties will be configured for this. So it's so simple in the Spring Boot, right? We don't need to configure our app initializer. We don't need to write the configuration. We just have to write what the properties we required in the application.properties file. So in this case, it will be do. So like it does not do restart. Spring Boot application will not do restarting. If you need a restart, you have to add the one more dependencies, which is called DevTools. We lost your voice again, I think. Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that's where here we will be configuring your prefix and suffix. Okay. So where and all you require your configurations. All these configurations are replaced with this file, which is application.xml. Sorry, application.properties or in the YAML. So where I want to go with, I don't want to work with the view. So I want to work with without the view. So what we can do it in the controller, whenever you write a uh, request controller, so it will always controller will be always written for the view. So we want only the body should be that JSON should be given. So let me just take in care. I want to retrieve the locations. So how we will be doing? So I will take here. What is the repository we have created, which is location repository. Location repository. And I should create the object. So that is, I should auto word it, or by using setter or constructor, we can do it. I'm doing here with auto word. So I've done with auto word. So I have to return the list of locations. So that is what I do here, list of location. First, I want to import the list. And then, so we have to get it here, location repository dot. So that is, we have a method here to get all, which is find all, because find all is a method which was given by your JPA repository. So I have written here location repository dot find all. But now when you run this code, it will always look for the list of location which is have a view. So but I'm not expecting any view. I want to give the response. So that is what we can give it here itself. We can go with response body. Just use the annotation which is called response body. So once this with response body and the request mapping of location, and as you're asking a question, so that is, I want to make this controller should be taken care of only that particular type of request, so that I can make it in the controller itself request mapping. So which is API. So that is, now if I send a request API slash LOC, then I will be able to get the locations. Why I've taken only locations? Because I have one data or SQL for the location. Let me write uh, one more query. I'm just writing some locations. Okay, just given some two locations here. So let me launch my boat application. So that is, the request will come to the employee controller, because here we have not written component scan, because all it will scan, the Spring Boot application will scan its own package and its children. If it is there in some different packages, then we have to write the component scan. Okay, if it's in the same package, we no need to. So now employee controller, so I have to go with API slash LOC. So let me just go here, API slash LOC. So we are able to get what is the location tables or location records we have it in the table. Okay, L code 123, L name and L code. So it is giving in the JSON format. By default, the Spring Boot will give the data in the format of JSON, and it is given here. We no need to configure anything for this, because it's do auto configuration. So are you clear with this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that we don't need to do any mapping. And instead of response body to be written, we can take in care here with another way, which is REST controller.
If you're mentioning view here, in which folder do you keep it?
Basically, here it will be configured for the theme leaf, so that theme leaf will be present in the static folder in the SRC main resources. We keep all our resources here.
Okay.
So maybe next session we'll work on theme leaf as well, so that I might show here. So when I made it as a REST controller, but still it is the same. Okay. A controller plus response body is equal to a REST controller. Either only one can be present and multiple can be present. And if any exception occurs or if any error occurs, so how to handle this exception handling, all this we will be seeing in the later session. Okay, so that is here it is giving the yes response body of a location. So see me, whatever the job of, like how we'll construct our controllers, we basically do it in a multiple ways. If you are making as a one entire service or one entire application as one Spring Boot application, what we do, we create a controllers depends on the roles. Like for this application, you want to make two roles. One is the user or the employee, and another one is a admin. So admin can do all the jobs of addition or add or sub or retrieval or insert or update or delete. All this we will be writing here. Okay, this we will configure with admin, so that it will be completely taken care by the admin with whatever the request you are getting. And as a REST endpoint, so how will you work with the REST? So that is, with the REST, we see it will be, we are able to work with only four methods, which is, or five methods, which is get, post, put, patch, and delete. So basically, get will be working, or get will be used for only retrieval job, which is for retrieval. Where you want to do the insertion job, then we will go for the post method. Where you want to only update, either if the record does not present, it should insert. If the record is present, it should be do the update. But patch method can do only update. Patch is used only to update. Okay. And then delete, which is to remove your resource or to delete it. So based on what type of a REST methods we are using, all this we have a different annotations. So instead of request mapping, we can go with at the rate of get mapping, because this method is using for getting a data, so that we can go with a get mapping. But the recommendations will be go with request mapping itself. But how will you mention this is for adding or for post? So that is, we will write it here, like let me write for add, so which is public. Whenever I'm adding, I'm not returning anything, so I'll write void method and add location, location repository dot save method is there, which we are sending here the location. So but how you are getting this location? So this location should be getting from the request, so that we have to get it here, request body annotation. So the request body is the annotation to read here the body of a request. So which is, we are taking location object. The request body will read here the location object, that location object we are saving here. And this will be of a same request mapping. But I want to make it, if you have this one, we'll get ambiguity because we can't have a two methods which have a same URL mapping with the same method also. So what we can do it here, this method will be using for a post. We'll use it here value LOC, and then here method equals request method dot post. And I want to specify this request mapping should not be for all the type of data. So I want to mention this should be only for a type of get. So that also we will be mentioning here. So that's what we have written here. Request mapping, value of location and method, request method and the post. If you want to specifically mention what is the data which it should accept, so we have to mention it should consumes the media type as media type available in different packages. You have to import only from Spring Framework of HTTP dot application JSON value. So that is, I want to mention it should take only JSON value. So we can take it here, application JSON value. So this code will be able to take the data from the request body. So to test, if I want to test this code, so we require a REST client application should be written. But why I should write, or why should I waste my effort to write a REST client? So that we have a predefined REST clients are available, any REST client which we can use it. Arc is a one REST client, or Postman is a one REST client. Any REST client we can use it. I'm using here Postman. So here we can take, first I'm just getting get method and API LOC. So it is okay, 404, what happened? Oh, I changed to admin. So we have only two locations now with the same URL, but I want to send a post request. So I'm taking here post, and we'll be having a body here. So that I want to write it 125. So I'm just writing here one other data, and I'm just raw data, which is a type of JSON, and I'm sending here. So if it is status given as a 200, okay, so then it's done. So let us just go and check with a get request so that we'll be able to see is it added to your database or not. You can see here in previous run we got only two records. Now we got the third record also, which is 125 Mascad, which is added to your database as well. So that is, let us just go and check it in our H2 console. The database name is test. And if you go to location, we just got here Mascad. You can see that data got added here. So this way we can do the post mapping. So are you clear with the Spring Boot with the web, with the rest?
Yes.
So same way you
Yeah.
can do for the put mapping and the delete mapping, or any type of patch mapping. So all this different type of mappings can be taken care. But here I have not added any exception handling. Okay. So in tomorrow's session, we'll add our exception handling, and we'll make one entire this REST application with the CRUD. So then later we'll add the view for it, like one is with REST and one more with a simple view, like with the theme life, how we'll be doing. Then we'll add a Swagger for the REST application. Then we do security, how the security will be work for this. Yes. So any doubts for today's session?
The,
So how was that today's session? It was good. Yes, some audio was lost sometime. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So servlet was a new thing, so it was kind of a bit hard to understand.
Oh, okay, okay.
This Spring Boot is just we had like worked on, so little bit idea we have. That servlet and Weave and those things was like entirely new thing. At least for me, it was entirely new.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay. It's okay, because if you don't know servlet also, no problem. I just thinking first, let me show what the Spring how will do, then it will be easy for you to understand Spring Boot. That's what I have taken servlet. That's all.
Please enroll our general membership for $399 plan to get access of all the parts.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan, and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.